on the rhythm of the water so clear. Every ripple sings and the catch is near. With our buddies beside us, the laughter's alive. In the heart of the South, we feel the vibe. We're drifting like the clouds under that cotton sky, waiting for the bite, oh my. Casting our troubles out into the blue. With deep South lures, we'll know what to do. Big fish, big dreams, just a cast away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to From Paddles to Props. Appreciate you being here tonight. I noticed some of you are already there getting on the comments tonight. Good to see Alan here and Stephen Sturgeon and Mr. U.S. Kayak Fishing Magazine, Mr. Roy Widgeon. Sorry about that, y'all. We're a little bit late. We was trying to get Dan on. Mr. Daniel, he's having a little bit of computer problems there, but me and Steve was talking, lost track of time. So, but let's get some of these sponsors out of the way tonight, and hopefully he'll get that computer issue worked out here. So, want to thank Deep South Lures. Appreciate Mr. Dennis Ball over there at Deep South. Go check them out at deepsouthlife.com there, and check out all what they got over there. Appreciate him and what he's doing for the show. Can't thank enough for Mr. 47 Lures over there, Mr. Phil, and all what he's doing for the show. Appreciate him, and go check him out at 47lures.com. Got some great baits, got some very unordinary baits on there that people love, and go check him out there. Also, too, a new sponsor going to be to the show 2026, Mr. Allen for A2 Custom Baits. I appreciate Allen. He's already on here tonight. And I also want to give a shout out to Trash Can Rods. It was on here last night. Mr. Tony Rice. He was on last week, man. Had a great show. If you didn't watch that, go over to Country Kids Outdoors YouTube channel. Go over there, check the live. And it's underneath there. Go check it out. Appreciate what he's doing. A veteran-owned company. Tony's an awesome guy, doing some great things with custom rods. And I appreciate him. Go check him out. Mr. Roy Widgeon over USA Kayak Fishing Magazine. Go check him out. He's got a great podcast called the Kayak Cafe. It comes on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. He's already on here. He loves to give me a hard time, and he loves cornbread fritters. So ask him about the cornbread fritters, and he'll tell you all about it. So also, too, don't forget about the TKS. We got some great schedules we're going to put out tonight on the show, but TKS are going to be on sometime next month, working out some rule changes that they're going to have for 2026. We're going to have Mr. Gene, the Fluke Master, on here, and Mr. Michael Musgrove talking about the TKS. Think it was a great hit for them this year on the team series, but there's their schedule. Also, too, I've sponsored this year the SC Yak 2026 schedule. Mr. Travis Falks doing this. He's the director of this one. So go check out that. Some great schedules there for a local tournament series. And anyways, I think we're going to see. I think Dan might have worked his out. But let's go ahead and get our guests in here tonight. I fished the Tennessee Bass Nations the last few years. I'd only fished one event this last year. So I hope Steve don't hate on me, but they're my grassroots, series. But we're going to talk tonight about the Bassmaster Kayak Series, and Steve and Sassy Dan, as we know them, that do the Tennessee Bass Nation and the Georgia Bass Nation. So without further ado, we're going to bring on Mr. Steve Owens and Mr. Sassy Dan. So can you hear us, Dan?
Oh, perfectly now. That was trippy.
All right.
Yeah, that OnlyFans filter on.
I did.
He sounded like Sasquatch the first two times.
Y'all sounded like chipmunks. Like it was so fast. Like I don't know what was going on. It's like I'm just going to go to the trusty iPad and see what happens.
I got you. Well, man, I thank you both so much for being on here, taking the time out to come on, and I can't thank y'all enough. also, thank you for what you all do. You got some great series for the kayak, world that y'all are doing top notch for the Bassmaster and the Tennessee and the Georgia. I didn't get to do that. I started with the Georgia last year and had the incident with the new canoe on Lake Lanier. And I had to call Steve and said, hey, I'm about drowned it. So
I was in Arizona. I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. It already happened and I ain't even woke up yet.
So we kept that under the covers because I made the local new canoe team last year, so we won't go talk about that. But if y'all want to know that,
you know how it is. It's like when them Hobies crack, nobody says anything about them till a couple years ago.
That's right.
Team guys, like when we were all in natives, everybody's like, "Oh, Hobie," and they had trouble then. Them boys just kept it hush, and then we had the same thing on other kayak brands. They're all good.
We had wet feet for a little bit.
Yeah, we got wet feet, and they had other stuff. But I think they got all that fixed now. Though I really think that the whole Bass Pro thing will be a good thing for everybody all together. So
I do. I believe. Speaking about that, I didn't have it in my notes, but I believe Bass Pro Shop has a really good opportunity if they put the right people in the right places to really do something big with the Hobie deal. I really do. I mean, I hope that they do, and the future will tell us. But I really think they have a good opportunity if they do it. Get the right people, they could do something with that whole ordeal. So
they get the manufacturing right, and the product gets back to where people trust it. Then, I mean, people forgive, and we'll be able to just keep rocking forward because we need every brand to be successful.
Absolutely,
100%. And it tickles me. You get one leaky kayak. I mean, I've been in manufacturing since I was 16 years old. Just a different field of manufacturing. It don't matter how good you're at it. Every so often you're going to get a bad product. It's just the way it happens. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? But everybody wants to blow it up into this big ordeal. You know what I mean? So it just happens,
I mean, you can't go on for 3 or 4 years though. I mean, that's the thing.
No, that's exactly
we're back
right.
in Missouri though. We're back in Missouri. Though.
That's it.
We got the production facility coming to Missouri. We still got Steve Fields on board, helping get things right. So yeah, it's all good. So that'll be the last jab I get, but we're good. It's going to get all right now.
Well, I'm glad you said it here.
The defamation suits are coming after that.
Yeah, they'll put some eyes on the sport. That's a good thing about it. I mean, they're a lot of people question what's going to happen to mom and pop or whatever, but they're still going to be there. They just are. You need Bass Pro behind name brands because they sell Z-Man too, but we still sell plenty of Z-Man product, So, I mean, it's going to be a good thing. It really is. Yeah.
That's it. And we all need to work together. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? We all need to work together, and they have the power to be able to push things to the next level if they want to. Yeah. So it's good to have Josh Sharp on here tonight. Well, go ahead. For those that are listening, this will be put on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all them other places. Steve, I'll go ahead and start with you, and then Dan, you can follow up for the listeners tonight. Tell them, Steve, who you are and what you do, and then Dan, you follow up, okay?
Yeah, man, I've just been, my whole life a working guy, and I don't know, when was it? 2011, 2012, got into kayak fishing with my buddy, Ryan Lambert, and just was car topping and fishing for crappie and accidentally hooked into a bass and just got hooked on that after that. And we just started running, our grassroots club here on Lake Chickamauga, TVKA, he and I, and then over the years, Sassy Dan and I have been buds, before then. We just traveled around and drank beer and went to football games and stuff. And then he got into kayak fishing and, he come into the club and help us get everything organized there too. And then we fell into the KBF tournaments and then Bassmaster, Tennessee Bass Nation, Georgia Bass Nation. And, we just got prettier as we aged. So we stuck around and decided to come on and do stuff like this. So now I run the Bassmaster Kayak Series and then co-TD with Sassy Dan there on Georgia and Tennessee. And as everybody knows, I mean, that's my brother. He helps me with everything. He helps me with the Bassmaster. he helps me with the sponsor stuff, human resource stuff. And so now, I think this is the 4th year. This is what I do full time. I also work for Dugout Bait and Tackle remotely. I do sales, marketing, purchasing. I run the kayak team, and just kind of keep a hustle going, to where I just don't have to go punch a clock every day. So,
yeah, go ahead, Dan. Take it away. Tell me about you.
So Daniel Davis, some people call me Sassy Dan. That's the story. Me and Steve-O were out fishing, and every picture he took of me, he said it was like Burt Reynolds in front of the fire on that fur for some reason. So it just kind of stuck there. So, I've fished all my life from, being a kid, looking at a bobber all the way up to my teenage years. And, my stepdad that actually raised me, we had a bass boat. We went out a lot, and, he passed. And so I kind of got out of fishing for a number of years. I started bank fishing again. And then I saw some guys post about kayak fishing, happened to be old Steve Owens there. So I was like, that's the affordable thing to do. So I got me this Perception Striker 11. You could stand up in it. Yeah, you can stand up in it. It was shaky as heck. And I went out 2 trips on my own. 3rd trip, met up with Steve and some other people from TVKA, and fished that day. And he said, "Hey, you need to try this old native pedal drive out." So I was like, "All right, I'll try it." I got in. I was immediately absolutely hooked and kind of ashamed of my original purchase. And so I ended up buying that kayak from him and fishing the TPK events. And all of a sudden he started handing me the phone at everybody's phone at check-in for judging. So I'm on judging fish.
Then he sucked you right in, didn't he, Dan?
Then all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, we're directors in this club." I was like, "Man, I don't even get asked for this."
Yeah, where's the memo? I missed the memo.
Where's the memo? And then I became the secretary, or basically, I guess, the secretary of our local club, or the financial guy, or the whatever you would call it. And I became the secretary of CAST, which CAST in Tennessee is. There's no state that has kind of what Tennessee has. It's a unified body of multiple clubs operating under the same rules, and everybody has 2 directors that vote every year. And so I got to keep track of that and write the rules for the state of Tennessee. And we started doing the Tennessee Bass Nation stuff, which just immediately blew up. Started helping with Georgia, and then all of a sudden Bassmaster, and here I am. I still got a full-time job, but the directing side's been an adventure. It's been fun, and you wait to learn a lot, and just the experiences of all the anglers that are out there. It's just pretty huge, and it's been a fun ride so far. I still fish and do what I can there, and get to ride along with my best bud, old Steve-O there, running tournaments and making the best of it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And let me just say, you guys, I've fished a lot of your events over the last few years, and you guys are top notch. I love it. You can reach out to you if you got an issue. You help us. The answers. You do what's right, and and you don't do no favorites either. That's the rules are the rules, but at the same time, when sometimes stuff just happens. You know what I mean? It ain't like you plan for it; it just happens. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But you guys are always good about it. You know what I mean? It ain't like you walk away like in them guys with a bunch of, buttholes. You know what I mean? It was like, kind, you're gentle about it. It's like, yeah, well, here's the deal.
Professional.
We're all still in it together. I mean, we're just all pals, It's not like we're CEOs of something. I mean, we're just trying to fish and have fun with our buddies. But hey, I just put a picture in there of the day Sassy Dan was born.
All right.
That's it. Look at him. Does that not look? And there was about 3 or 4 more pictures. And every time I said
it's the same thing every time.
Look, she said, "Don't he just look so sassy?" I said,
"Yeah, he does." Sassy. Sonny looks a lot younger there. I don't know. It just might be my eyes, but he looks a lot younger.
That's the camera trick there.
Yeah. That was a pre-bourbon and a pay raise. That's what that is.
That's hilarious right there. That's a good one. Yeah. we got some comments coming in on that one. So that's
Good.
OMG there.
All he needs is a glass of Cavassier and that
Hey,
right hand.
Daniel Morris, don't keep
That's right.
Push it down, buddy. Push it down.
Oh, we even got Bassmaster Kayak Series here. This was the day
That's
Sassy.
me. Yeah, that's my YouTube.
Okay. Good to have Marcus Grubb on here tonight. Appreciate you being here.
Mark Ass Grubbs. Yeah,
exactly. But he's a good man. So that's awesome right there. Alan, I seen your comment. I didn't know if we was there yet. But I don't care. I'll go ahead and ask Steve and them. So I this is the topic of the week for everybody. So Alan said, what's y'all's thought on cheating scandal this past week? I thought the guy was a total idiot. So I'll let you go ahead. Y'all take turns on there. Talk about that a little bit. So
yeah, I mean, it was a long time coming, like when I do the other things, Daniel is obviously a constant judge and a sounding board when things come up. And, for years,
those who are listening, Steve, tell what the guy did, for them that.
So this particular individual had taken an aluminum bass tracker and put in the back of the bass tracker a cut up kayak seat that happened to be fluorescent green, and he went and had caught fish and submitted them in that kayak seat inside of that bass boat.
My goodness.
Yeah. And so as it turns out, there's other things that come up after the fact, but for several years, people had thought he was a bad character. But this finally, he had gotten suspended for some other things in a few other kayak series. And then,
did he fish any of your series over the years?
Oh, he fished. He cashed a check in the Bassmaster Susquehanna event 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But from what we could tell, just at that time, he'd gotten in some controversy about fishing too close to overhead dams. You got to be 100 foot below, and you can't be 200 foot above. And so he purposefully violated that. And so he got suspended from the Drew Gregory Kayak Angler Adventure Series. And then Drew Gregory or Vinny Ferreri's Native Big Bass Power Hour. And he got suspended from the Pennsylvania Bass Nation tournament too.
Was he the same guy that did that in Susquehanna that got the ticket? Is that the same guy?
Yeah, he got a ticket, but he didn't get banned from the tournament for a ticket. Right. It was for purposefully violating, that rule and law. And then from the tournament organization's data, the wildlife management decided to issue a ticket. But that wildlife officer wasn't able to make it to court that day. So it got kind of pitched out. And so, after that, people had started looking just at pictures, and as luck would have it, he had caught a fish in June and submitted it online, and in a New York KBF tournament. New York Kayak Bass Fishing is a club up there. And it was an amazing fish, gorgeous, beautiful, monster smallmouth. And then in July, I believe it was, he submitted a picture on his Instagram of him in a bass tracker, aluminum boat, holding up that fish. And it was like, wait a minute, the fish had a bloody mark on the tail. And so you look at his Tourney X submission, same exact fish. There's no denying it. And that wasn't even an issue, that it was a duplicate fish. But he had submitted the fish in another tournament, same exact fish. Sleeve color was different on his shirt in each one. And people got to looking. And then when we had sent some pictures to people were asking if it was a duplicate fish, we actually looked and saw what looked like carpet for me in that picture. And I was like, well, what's that black mark? That's not water. And then someone else pointed out that there was a saw mark. And then somehow, some way, someone got a still photo from a video of him at a public boat ramp in New York with his boat, truck, license plate, black pack with rods sticking up out of it, with that piece of cutout kayak in the back of his boat. So all of that came forward. It was vetted to make certain that it was certain, and then the New York KBF come out with it after that. So,
Wow.
but to answer Tony, these were online tournaments that he submitted those fish in. It was an online tournament on the St. Lawrence in New York. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what amazes me, and Dan, you can speak to it too. These guys go to more trouble trying to cheat than they do just fishing the tournaments. I mean,
It is absolutely
Me
shocking.
and Daniel had to disqualify a guy a lifetime ban from Georgia Bass for bringing fish from his golf pond in his subdivision onto Lake Lanier.
We had an
and
involved
Lake Hartwell.
biologist on that one.
A biologist stepped in and said, "No, these
These aren't local.
23-inch largemouth don't grow on this water."
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask y'all a question about that since we're talking about the cheaters. I know it happens in every level. It don't matter. They get caught in the big levels, they get caught in, but how much do you think it sets us back as, being in the kayak leagues when this kind of, stuff comes out? How bad do you think it hurts us? You know what I'm saying?
This is the weights and the walleye right now for us. I mean, it's very public. It's whenever the weights in the stomach of the walleye came up at a couple of years ago, we had a ton of people. I had people at work coming up to me because they know that I fish. Did you see that? Did you see that? I was like, yeah, I've been sent that 50,000 times right now, and now I've got just like the fish mailbox thing or the fish slippers, but
Yeah.
it's the same thing on the kayak side. Like people are, it's a very, very public right now. It's gone viral as far as how much it sets us back. Not to disqualify or speak on any other tournament events. Like we've got a pretty good thing going with our checks and balances and how we do things and how our series have grown in Tennessee, Georgia, Bassmaster and everything. It's been integrity. And the majority of our anglers are out there and they understand that we're looking and there's going to be integrity checks and things checks and balances that are going to happen to try to prevent some of that stuff. There's going to be some sly things that come out and they may not be caught, but in the majority of our events, they understand that we're going to be looking at things. We've caught, God, I don't know how many duplicate submissions where the angler caught the fish 2 days in a row. And, we
on
have
accident.
those.
It just happened.
On accident.
Yeah.
Not even purposeful. And so, we want anglers to understand that, like, we're going to try to catch those things. In a Bassmaster, I saw some cans in the bottom of the kayak and it led to a DQ for an angler.
Some twisted tees.
Some twisted tees in the bottom of a kayak will get you gone. It ain't just river cleanup. Like that's the kind of things.
The guy absolutely was at the campsite and just threw him in the kayak and didn't take him out. But we had to DQ him because we don't know what he was doing. I mean, he could have been out there getting
surprised what kayak it was, or did you?
It's all good. It's okay. It's all good now. We laugh about it with him, and we had dinner with him.
Right,
the biggest armament that we have is other anglers, and
that's it. Great point.
Those people being out there and dude,
spectators.
Spectators. I've left the ramp before. My 360 light hasn't worked, and I've had people tell me, "Hey, your 360 lamp's not working." And they told me I fixed the issue immediately. They didn't wait for me to fish, 4 hours of the day and then call the tournament director and say, "Hey, this dude fished without a 360 light for 4 hours. I sat 100 yards from him and watched him." But, those are the type of things as anglers speaking up. It's in all of our rules that if you see something, say something. If there's an integrity issue, you've got to speak on it. And that's the number one thing that we have. There's been a number of tournaments where that's come into play. We've investigated. We've sent people out. We've scouted ramps. We've scouted areas. And as long as we know that, because we're sitting in a hotel room, we're judging things virtually most of the time, but we need information. We need those people to speak up. And if there's something that we see that's wrong, we're calling it angler like, hey, I need a video of that fish. It's got a dead eye. It's going in, I need it swimming off and on a video. Those are the things that we do to try to check and fact check those issues. And, out of the kayak, long ways pictures that we see where, there's some events where you in Tennessee Bass or Bassmaster, you can't submit that picture where you're out of the kayak and putting it in the kayak. In some cases, you have to be in the kayak to be able to submit them. And those are things that are checks and balances that help in those situations and in the series. But in cast, we allow tether rules, and we would accept that picture, but we know that there's 2 other people that are fishing next to that guy that are gonna yell and shout at him if there's an issue. So it takes all of us, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. And so as far as how much it hurts, I'm a defeatist when it comes into negativity, and I'm a very positive person. But the least little thing makes me think that 90% of people are never going to fish again. And I think that's what makes me stay on guard so much. But what really pisses me off and bothers me is that when something like this happens, you hear so many people on social media, which can be good and bad. It's mostly bad, but that's our platform. Say, well, that's why I don't fish this. That's why I don't fish that. Well, it might take 2 or 3 people to hear that and say, well, you know what, they're right. And then now we've lost them, because like somebody most mentioned, people lots of times say, all the top guys are cheating, this, that, and the other. Well, they say that in every sport, and they're not. And the people that get caught doing things that get them penalized or disqualified, those are the top people too, because they just fish their butts off. And they forget to close that mouth or the identifier and stuff. And so, the people that we catch that we have to disqualify are typically nowhere near the top. And it's always because of a mistake. Yeah. I'm just be flat honest. And I don't think from TVKA, our grassroots club, all the way to Tennessee, Georgia, and Bassmaster, that we've ever disqualified someone for cheating. It's always been an uh-oh. Like we talked about, Delgado at Georgia had drug up based off of my instructions not being clear, and we disqualified his fish from the point that he crossed over all the way back to starting the tournament out. Well, we had done the same thing to George Smith in a Bassmaster on Gunnersville, but And he didn't know. And another angler called it out to him, and then he called us immediately. That's the people that you go the extra mile for, because even in the boat world, if you self-report, then we will do everything in our power to give you a penalty. There's a bunch of BS going on that it's easy to find if you want to research it. But there's people that are trying to get us to disqualify someone for violating let's just say, well, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to regret this, but
oh God,
violating a code of conduct based off of saying something on social media. Well, I'll just say this right now: you call Sassy Dan a low down MFer on Facebook in a tournament, I'm going to scold you for it and say, don't do it again. I'm going to give you a little bit of a penalty. I'm not disqualifying you from that.
It's mostly true, but
mostly. And so that's the thing. So not every infraction is a disqualification, but you have certain people with a mindset that say, well, his pinky was under the gill plate, that fish is gone. No, we're going to call you and say, hey, move your pinky away. Be careful where your hand's at, which I'm just going to eliminate the gill plate thing because it's a non-issue anymore. So as long as you don't cover the eyeball or cover the tip of the tail, then you're fine.
I struggle with the gill plate. It's like if I don't get my hand, I try my best not to get that pinky up in there, but I don't know what it is. But I got to take 3 or 4 pictures because I can't keep moving my hand over. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but
this kind of stuff does suck because we'll lose somebody, you know. And like me and Daniel always talked about, and I over obsess over things, but you know, I don't want to lose one person. You know,
no,
I don't want to lose one person.
I remember that, Drew.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, Drew, give us a comment, and then he come down here and said, you guys caught me with a duplicate largemouth at 10 killer that caught. He said in the same
and that dirty black or dirty board that he had. Yeah.
Just had to say something. Appreciate Drew being on here tonight. He's been on our podcast many times, but I appreciate Drew and what he's doing. But
things look bad, but you know what? It's bad for a minute, and then you just brush it off and move on. I mean, do you keep a scab forever? No, it flakes off and you move on. So that's why I made the meme today, the picture today. I mean, we're going to produce those. You know, I've got a new company that we're going to launch soon. I'm putting those stickers out there. You know.
Yeah, no, I like that. I've seen that. Just
we're out of here, man.
Opportunistic right there. I like it.
Yeah, well, you know, and the deal is too, you can get upset when that stuff happens, but at the same time, you can take it as, you know, we all learn from it. You know what I'm saying? You know,
and it's not happening all the time.
That's right. It's not happening all the time. That's exactly right. I mean, everybody takes a piece a little bit bad and blow it up to this big ordeal that makes everything look bad. It's just, that ain't the way it is.
The best part is like the straight cheaters they do the dumb criminal shit. Yeah, the best way to put it is they're going to get caught. It's going to get exposed, and you know they tend to have like. The only thing that was different this time is that the guy wasn't in Texas.
I got you. It wasn't in Texas.
It's always Husky in Texas. This guy was in New York when he got busted on the St. Lawrence, and so
I know.
If anybody knows, you can't. You're not going. So let me say this to Daniel's point earlier. If you're portaging in a tournament, we allow you to get out and take your picture like that one. And so that looks like a picture that was caught on a river, you know, but I mean, you're not going to do that on St. Lawrence, you know, you'll die if that happens. And so that's just why it got kind of glossed over, because it was like, okay, it's an online tournament. Yeah. But, you know, so like here on Chickamauga, if we would have gotten that picture, we would have questioned it, or we would have disqualified it, because you have to be in your kayak for safety purposes, you know. And if you're outside of that kayak, then where are you fishing? You know, here on Chickamauga, where you can get out, and you know, now you can do it anywhere. You know, you can't do it on Lake Seminole, but here on Chickamauga, you can get out on the bank and take that picture. But if you can't portage or wade fish in a tournament, then you shouldn't be out of it. And their rules, I don't think, said that you could portage. So, you know, it should have been caught. But like Daniel said, that's the great thing about us being on Tourney X and having eyeballs and the other transparency is, hey, I mean, it sucks. I get aggravated when y'all message me and say, hey, what about this? And I only get aggravated because I missed it, you know?
Yeah,
but we all caught it and we got to correct it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing too. I've seen people get tore out of frame because a judge missed something or whatever. And, you know, we're all human at the end of the day. You know,
we've done it too, man. Daniel Lyons, he didn't know, you know, in one of the first Tennessee Bass Nations we had, and he cropped his photos and rotated them for us, and you know, he submitted them, and our judge accepted them just because, you know, he was newer, and he didn't, you know, pay attention to the metadata, and so then. Technically, you know, he violated that rule, but do you let him resubmit fish since it was a mistake, or do you do the full-blown penalty because he edited the photo? I mean, what do you do there? You know, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And so we you know, we cut those photos out, you know, and now, you know, we have a different process. It's kind of like balls and strikes, sad to say. When a judge messes up, a lot of times there's not a lot of recourse because mistakes happen on the admin side. But then when you're an angler and you mess up, there's a penalty every time. And that I'm not comfortable with that, but there's no way around it. It's just the nature of the game.
Balance there.
Well, just let me tell you, you two have been staples in the fact of, and I give you kudos. Anytime I've had an issue and I called you, worked with me. There's some series I've been in. It's like there's no need to even call because they're not going to even try to help you.
I had somebody the other day say, "Well, you'd have a lot less stress if you didn't do that," but I would have more stress over not helping.
True.
Well, I think a lot of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. Finish up.
No, that's why, like I mentioned you, Daniel, the other day. I had met Paul and Leduc, who's now cuz to me because my family's German Jew and he's a Leduc and I have Leduc in my family. So, but we were talking and we were carrying on about some things that me and you do, and much to what Stephen was saying, they were thanking for what you and I do in certain situations that they had specifically. And I was like, that's just, I can't not be any other way. And he was like, dude, screw them. I wouldn't do it. And I was like, well, I would rather lose sleep and go the extra mile and do something for you to where I didn't have to penalize you later,
Yeah. Our biggest thing is for anglers to have the best experience. Every fish to try to count and help them out along the way and educate where we can. We had in a recent Bassmaster, we had two non-English speaking anglers that were, one of them that actually was bilingual, but he actually put the strap around the fish and had it facing the wrong direction. I called him up it's like, hey, I can't accept that fish. And there's a bunch of nothing and paws and whatever. And he had his friend come over to him and tell him, he had to translate. I was like, that fish got to be facing left. You can't strap the fish to the board. Yeah. Nothing like that. But we went, I think I spent 20 minutes on that call because we want the anglers to be educated. Even if they didn't read the rules, we want to read the rules, those types of things, but we want them to be we want them to have a good day on the water. That's the ultimate thing. It's like, dude, you go out there, fish. The only thing that you got to worry about is what you have in control of. And, that's the ultimate goal of every one of our tournaments, to operate with integrity and, the respect of the anglers. And we get loyalty from that. It's a win-win for us in those cases.
Oh yeah. And it shows. There's been, I don't know, we've had as many as 26 on here live, and many of them had said them are the two top-notch, directors in the game, and I'll give a testimony. I'll never forget waking Steve up. We was at Pickwick for 4 days.
It was 10 a.m. when you called him.
Me and Chris Phelan, and we're going to the ramp that morning. Chris said, you did sign up, didn't you? And I was like, oh, crap. I said, I plumb forgot. That's we've been down here for 4 days practicing. You know what I'm saying? And I remember calling Steve, and he's like, what? I was like, Steve, I didn't sign up. I said, I've been down here. I said, I've been down here. I said, we done talked to you a couple of different times. I said, this angler's at our house. We's all staying in Airbnb. And he was like, you're good. Just text Dan. He said, text Dan. He said, I'll take care of it.
Well, I add you manually. So we can do that in Bass Nation. And Bass Master's $100 penalty, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. But, that meant a lot to me because, I don't know why I didn't think that. I'd been down there for 4 days, but you talk about.
I hope Jeremy Meadows is watching because he's the same way.
I felt like an idiot.
Angler of the Year up every year. He's up there in state and everything, and his sucker signs up when we're eating dinner, before registration closes every time. Keith Martin's got it. I got to text Keith Martin, Daniel, by the way. He's going to be pissed off. So.
And Travis Doe's comment, when you're caught cheating, it's not going to be a minor DQ ever in what we do. And the majority of the infractions that we deal with it's just bluntly saying angler stupidity or those types of issues. But if it's bluntly trying to manipulate or anything like that, we have no mercy for those types of situations.
Right.
And that's what you're going to expect from the clubs or the trails that we are a part of. Is if you're trying to game the system in those situations, we're going to deal out the swift justice that we can. But if it's, we're going to rule in the favor of the angler of, hey, I forgot, those types of things, we're going to be lenient, especially if they self-report. So.
Yeah, and that's awesome that y'all, there comes a time where you have to do the, what I mean? It's like, it's got to be done,
We ain't afraid.
That's right.
I don't know that we've ever had anybody chew us out for calling them and saying such and such. I mean, you hear some huffiness, but because they know, because like it's like we've had to disqualify. I mean, there's a line there that people choose to put that's not real. Right. But because I run the dugout team, I'm friends with a lot of people. So, I mean, but I've disqualified Christine from tournaments. I've disqualified my own boss, Jamie Koza, Sassy Dan. We've sat there and disqualified 97.5 inches of smallmouth on 10 killer in the championship because we couldn't see his identifier all the way. I mean, it's just, we're all friends. And I mean, we have to do it, and so, if there's ever an issue of arguing over a decision, we might not have made the right one, but if it was done wrong, then it was a mistake and not something that's trying to cover for somebody. But that's what people try to do. They want to get on there and bump their gums and say, TDs are doing this and that, and it's just whatever. Yeah. So like if you judge fish for me in a tournament, you're not looking at you don't get to see the location. You just don't. I'm not sharing that with you. So that if you ever fish another tournament on that body of water, you can fish, because I want you to be able to fish. And if there's an issue comes up, then I have the data, or Dwayne Wally, to be able to make sure that you're fishing Chickamauga and not Gunnersville, Yeah. And there's a little bit of a risk there, but it's easy to catch. And so, but that's what we do. So, yeah, but I mean, we got obviously a lot that we can talk about. So we appreciate all the praise you all give us. You guys are so good to us. And that's the reason that when we get aggravated, that we keep doing it, because like I've had an absolute blast today. I've had a lot done. I've been all over the city running errands and talking to different people about next year and 2027. And just had a good time. And so, we got it pretty good.
Well, let's get into that a little bit now. We'll change our focus a little bit. So I got a couple questions before we get into the actual schedules for all three of the kayak series. What does the process look like when building 3 tournament schedules, Steve? I know you guys work together.
Walk out of the room.
What's that look like? Kind of give us a little breakdown of what's, because we appreciate what you do, but sometimes I don't think these guys realize all what you do behind the scenes to get us that schedule. So tell us how that happens. If you can give us
the easiest part is that, Tennessee and Georgia, I can handle Georgia and Daniel can do Tennessee because he's off on weekends, and obviously I am too. And so, so I don't really have to worry about much. He and I have a few dates that we want to stay away from. So priority number one is I start with a Bassmaster schedule. And through the Hobie BOS, AJ and I had a little system where, let's just say I would do the first 2 weeks of a month and he would do like the third or fourth, we kind of do like that.
Yeah.
And so for me, repetitiously, I had, that kind of structure. So first thing I do is look at the Bassmaster dates, look at a body of water, find out if it's a good time of year to be there. And you don't always nail them. And no, I cannot look at the solar lunar. I can't.
Wait, you can't control the weather, Steve. That's just the way it is.
You can't look at the solar lunar. And then after that, those ones are easy to put on a calendar. But as you see, here we are again. I was on it this time last year to get the 2026 schedule done. And it literally took until 3 weeks ago to get it done. I mean, and it is just because, we're one tournament. on that Chamber of Commerce's entire year. So they're busy too. They're scheduling, cook-offs and truck pulls and monster rallies. And so
Right.
it's hard. And so, but once that gets done, I look at the body of water, time of year. I talk to all of y'all, all the anglers across the country, and find out, where we want to go. And so once we get that done, then I'm able to sit down and look. And how it started for me is I literally look at, my wife's work schedule. And because one year, TVKA, I booked a schedule and she and I were out for dinner, and I was so happy with this schedule. I said, man, I can't wait. We're going to fish here. We're going to fish here. We're going to fish here. And she goes, well, I'm off all those weekends. And I was like, no, you're not. And I looked and I got it wrong. So I scheduled all our tournaments on her off weekends.
Oh my goodness!
So I literally some days would fish just a couple hours and haul up back home. So
look at Dan.
so I look at her schedule and we sit down together and we look at Tennessee and Georgia, and I get with Daniel, and then we just start hammering it out. And Tennessee and Georgia happens pretty quick. Because thankfully we got a good relationship with some of these chambers, so we can basically just kind of put a tournament on. And like Seminole, Alatoona, Lanier, the Rivers event, those 4 or 5 out of those 8, historically every year, people don't complain that you have Alatoona the same weekend every single year, because it fishes good that weekend every single year,
Yeah.
And so, and in Tennessee, it's pretty easy because December to August, even if it kind of sucks a little bit, you could still go catch fish on any of these bodies of water. So we got it pretty easy,
And thankfully, like, especially in the last, I guess, 2 seasons, a ton of the cast clubs, they're waiting for us to put out our schedule to deconflict and do what they can or fish alongside it. And that's been an absolute blessing, is not trying to compete for anglers in those spaces. Hey, with him running the Bassmaster, that just sets up everything perfectly. If he's doing one in California, of course we can do one in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Or the next weekend do one in Georgia. But it's pretty easy to deconflict without competition is the best way to say it.
Yeah. Thank you all. Been a lot of you commenting tonight, so I love it because I ain't had to really go through my notes. So I appreciate y'all that's been on here tonight. And you
got to keep us on task too, though. You got to be careful.
Come on now.
Yeah. Exactly right. But y'all, I'm sorry. Usually I got time to get to every one of you, but I haven't tonight. So, but I do thank each and every one of you for, posting the, I've been trying to get them up there where at least people can read them. So, what's your biggest challenge, you think, when I know a lot of us have never had to deal with these, commerce or whatever? How did they really look at the kayak fishing, Steve? When you call them up, how do they look at it? Do they look at it like, or do they see the growing potential in kayak fishing? How do they approach you when you call them?
Most of them now are, I'm going to lakes that we already have a relationship with let's just say Bassmaster, or for Tennessee and Georgia, we already have relationships through other tournaments that we done in the past, even before we had Bassmaster. So they buy in. But what we do a good job at is I pull out, photographs from award ceremonies and stuff. And then the Tourney X leaderboards are so ornate, where they look good and you can advertise with them well. I send them those, and when they see 99 inches or 100 inches, they don't know what 100 inches of fish is, but they know 100 is a good number, so they're like, oh, okay, and so from there, the first thing and what I typically do is I start explaining away hotels. I start explaining about how much we spend in other places, because a lot of chambers only get money off of you fishing if you're in a hotel. And those ones are hard because they can't do anything about it. It could be you want us there, but your chamber only gets money from a hotel stay, then you can't do anything, and it just sucks. And so that's the biggest challenge. A lot of them, they really don't know what we do, but I feel like we've just unlocked something in our communication, because when I talk to them, we're talking about stuff. Oh, I've been up there to Paris, Tennessee, and it took my wife to Bell Buckle to the fair, and the next thing you know, we start talking fishing, and because I just like to talk to people, and then by the time we're done, they're like, "Hey, okay, well, let's check it out. How much do y'all need for a host fee, and then what do we got to do on top of the host fee, and what do y'all provide?" And then now we've got enough generated numbers from the Bassmaster stuff, and like me and Daniel, we don't even have a media deck or anything like that. We don't have numbers from anything, but it's just what you guys do. The pictures and all that stuff is what helped so far. But the biggest challenge is just trying to figure out a way for them to see impressions, and that's getting harder, especially with meta ads are the way to go. Static Facebook, that kind of stuff, advertising anymore doesn't work. And so it's getting harder, it really is. And so I really wish there was something I could say that you all could do to help us do that, but there's really not. It's just, the hashtag stuff does work. I know that, they see those things, but
the biggest thing is, the anglers sharing things, liking the page. So we averaged in Tennessee about 70, it was 69 anglers per event. I hate to say that, but I've been trying to say 70 anglers per event.
How many was it, Dan? How many did you average?
It was 69 angler average.
I got you. Well, you can go ahead and say 70. We're okay with that.
We're 70 with it. Little kid in the butt.
We're fishermen. We always add up.
That's exactly right. If you average it, if you average up, it would be 70.
About 260 unique anglers in Tennessee. And, all those anglers, like, we're going to places where people are traveling from Indiana, Kentucky. And those are the things we try to show some of those chambers, just like we're bringing in anglers from people that don't live here. There's a ton that are not savvy to, the geo data and geofencing as far as people coming into a place for those situations. But we try to tell them about the Airbnb stays, the Hardee's visits, the gas station visits, the mom and pops and tackle shops and things like that. And it does have some impact. And there's some of these events that we have no chamber backing on. And, the only thing we could ask is, hey, if there is, everybody knows somebody that may own a business and things like that. And we're absolutely 100% open to those companies, chipping in an amount of money to get their name on the banner, get their name named in our award ceremony, those types of things. And looking at non-endemic, non-fishing sponsors, we're 100% open to those types of things. And, that would help, and we're all right. We're doing fine. We don't need those. We don't ask that of anybody, but hey, if you're bored, somebody that's got some marketing money to spend, and it would help our series and help it grow and help us add things to the other end of it. But other than that, dude, the anglers continuing to show up, that's 100% investment for us. That is enough for us to do 10 tournaments, season over season, and continue that on where, Steve-O ain't got to do a 9 to 5 and we get to have fun with it. So,
yeah. Dan and Steve, do you guys ever crunch any numbers at the end of the year to find out how many new guys actually come out every year? Do y'all ever look at that at all to see
what
kind of growth did you get?
No.
We could easily look at it.
We look at unique anglers overall and do an average.
I got you. I just wondered.
The growth is huge, but we see it at the check-ins. We
get it visually and up here because he and I talk about
absolutely.
it.
New people, like, with we talk about cast in Tennessee, and we're seeing more and more of the cast anglers like, okay, I'm gonna fish it this year. And then those anglers turn into, I'm gonna fish, I'm gonna try to go for state championship. Like the my goal, that's on my roll. And we see those new people show up and they're engaged, and that's the dopamine high for us. And that's the little things that we get to see and we understand. Like the Bill Dance this last season, dude, being able to throw an hourly big bass medallion over somebody when they caught an 18-inch fish in tournament, 9 times out of 10, that's not going to be the big bass, and even a 17 in some cases, being able to award them money, the medallion, their picture, and we do the tournament recap. That's a lot to sell in their lives as far as, hey, I'm hooked. That's what happens. And we're going to try to continue to do those little things to keep people engaged. And, we're passionate about this, and we want people to be passionate about it as well and fish the series. And we're seeing the returns on that alone.
What is the Bill Dance thing going to be this year too, Steve, or is it?
I'm not sure. We've been going back and forth, but like everyone else, Shane Frazier, he's a great dude, runs a great series. Like everyone else, sponsor stuff's getting harder and harder. So just to put it into numbers, for us to do $100 an hour, that's $800 per tournament. That was, 6 tournaments last year. That was $4,800. So they gave us, $4,800 out of their bank account to give you guys $100. And then so from what we get from the sponsor support that we get, we got the medallions and the Bill Dance trophy out of that budget. And so that's going to, I hope they come back. So we had a conversation a month ago, and we'll talk this week and get it hammered out. But we may just step out on faith. And so like whatever money that we can drum up from our sponsors to get it started. But if we do it next year, we've got 7 Bill Dance signature lakes, so that's going to be, $5,600, we may only get $7,500 worth of sponsor support. So, and we're already coming out of pocket for our own gas, and luckily we all verbo together, and so, and there's some instances where, we can cover all of that. And then in Georgia, we get a little bit of support in Georgia. So my goal is to have the Bill Dance Signature Lakes back on board. For every tournament that's not Bill Dance, I would like for us to be able to do $50 an hour for big bass on those ones. And then in Georgia, I would like to do, because we don't have a Bill Dance Signature Lakes there, I would like to do $50 an hour.
Like
do what?
He's a Tennessee fan. He don't like Georgia.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I'd like to do $50 an hour in Georgia for the season. And I'm talking with Mahindra Tractors about that. And so if they'll pony up, including the championship, that's $5,600, and I hit them up for $6,000. I'll just be transparent. And then that extra $400 will pay for the medallions and those trophies, hopefully, but and if we can't get it, then we won't have it. But
the margins are slim, folks. We try to do what we can for y'all.
Right. Since we're talking about the Tennessee Bass Nation, do you want me to just go ahead and pull that up in that schedule?
Yeah, get it.
Heck yeah.
Can you all see it?
We've had, since your email about this show,
it's covering Steve's face up. Let me see if I can.
That's absolutely
all right.
fine.
We're good.
There we go.
Back, switch it back. Good God. So, since your email to give the invite to this show, we've had 10 people pay dues in November. Wow. I like, it's trending. We've had 98, 96. We've had right under 100 anglers on the Dale Hollow season opener, almost like multiple years in a row.
Let me go ahead and put a little dig in since you mentioned Dale Hollow. I only got to go to I work for a company in Michigan. I only got to go twice a year, and it's the 1st of January and the 1st of December. If y'all can move that one next year,
It's
I'm
gonna be tough.
so thankful.
We'll fluctuate a week like after,
Yes.
or but it's gonna be in December. But
I know.
it
I
works
have
out well.
I have to be in Michigan every year on that first week of December. So
Well, I'm sorry.
it's
Good luck,
okay.
old son.
It's all right. It's all right.
But that event, like for some reason, has such a draw, and it's such a great kickoff to the season. It starts, in the same year. But Dale Hollow's such a special place. If you're pre-fishing up there during the week, you're going to see one boat. And it's no docks, no houses along it. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful place. If you've not fished it, if you fish one
it's
event,
beautiful. Beautiful.
you fish one event, like make that the one. And, we have it at a great check-in location, the River Grill, every year. They're very accommodating, got good food. But that's the kickoff. And, it's in a couple weeks, and I'm looking forward to it. The weather's been rainy. It's been not cold. It's never snowed. It's been, a weird
Well, last year we
mix.
had a whole week of snow.
Yeah, we had snow, but we didn't have snow during the tournament.
No,
crazy.
you're right. We had snow all week though. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
that was great.
And then Watts Bar in February, like we had I had an experience with Watts Bar in February, and on a Hobie, it was cold as damn it, but it was great fishing. And Watts Bar is really coming up. The F1 strains up there. It's going to be fantastic. And then the sleeper, Nickajack. Dude, Nickajack for the last 7 months has been on fire.
Yep.
And I don't see it stopping. And, catching that, spawn, pre-spawn in March there is going to be pretty fantastic. It's showing out to be a fantastic fishery. And then we're going back to Kentucky Lake. We've hit that lake on and off. And, it's another one that's an up and coming. And then Guntersville, I have to explain it every year. Yes, the Tennessee River system and part of Tennessee is in Guntersville.
Yes.
So, it's a fantastic one. And then another one of my favorites is always Pickwick.
I love Pickwick.
Pickwick has something for everyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like if you fish anywhere on the Tennessee River system, no matter where it's at, you're going to find a piece of it on Pickwick. And, so that's a pretty fantastic place. And then, of course, Chickamauga, it's local to us. It's been pressured, but it's starting to come back a little bit. People are starting to catch a lot more on it, and especially during that time period, should be pretty good. Reelfoot.
That's a new one, isn't it, Dan?
That's a new one, and that one has actually been mixed. We have a ton of anglers that want to fish there, and we have a ton of anglers that have fished there that are kind of iffy about it, but it's throwing a little bit of new into the mix.
So let me interject on that one. So what that is that's a partner event with the Bill Dance Signature Lakes and the Giant Bass Open Series.
Yeah.
And so what they're wanting to do is make this a yearly festive event. And so on Friday, we'll get up there and we'll have a dinner and pick a little, sing a little, drink a little. And then Saturday when we fish, we'll fish for bass, and the boat world will fish for crappie. They're wanting to turn that into kind of like not necessarily the Cornbread Festival, which like Daniel mentioned will be on Guntersville. That'll be the same weekend in South Pittsburgh as the Cornbread Festival. So we're going to actually be hosted in Tennessee. So
Steve, where's Reelfoot located at? Where's it at on the map in Tennessee? What's it close to?
It's just over
there.
So it's West Tennessee-ish. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going towards the end of the state then, I guess.
Yeah, right? back over towards Natchez
Yonder.
and all that and stuff.
So that's the same Reelfoot everybody goes duck hunt on. Reelfoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm with you.
It was made by the earthquake. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just something they've been after us. Like the Tennessee people have messaged, like literally back when all we had was TVKA, for whatever reason, they found us and they were messaging, and it was like, hey, y'all come out here and fish, and we had a strong series, and we were averaging, almost 50 that year in the grassroots. And I was like, we'll go to Nickajack or Gunnersville or Del Hollow, but we can't go to Pickwick. And Pickwick's got some big bass in it. It's just hard to find them. And so
Right.
it's just, and the big thing is for this one is think about how excited we get when you think about a shotgun launch in our grassroots stuff, because we miss those kind of things, or we say we miss them. This is going to be that kind of thing. We're going to be there on Friday when everybody gets off work. If you can, there's plenty of lodging around there. We'll all bunk up and throw air mattresses in there, and we'll fit 10 in a room, like we were traveling for a college ball game, and then just hang out, and have a dang good time. And then Saturday morning, when we make it to the water, we make it to the water and just go fish, not worry about,
no matter how hangover you are.
Yeah. We're not going to worry about if there's 26 inches in this water. Let's just go fish,
Right. Just see what it's all about. That's right.
Yeah.
Then we come back to Chickamauga. Steve-O, is this the partner event with Native?
613 is the one with Native.
Oh, so the first Chickamauga.
The first one's with Native.
Well, I was
partner
going to ask y'all about that, why you was kind of going back to back. So, with one in between. So that makes sense.
It was partially the partnership with Native. We already had Chickamauga on the schedule, and it worked out. And that's a fishery that it's worth going back to twice in some cases. Steve-O can expand on that some if we need to.
I think Steve-O likes that lake, don't he?
He lives, 4+ minutes
there, don't he?
So.
I did it so Daniel don't have to get up and yeah.
He's thinking of me.
Yeah, I'm older than Daniel, but Daniel's old.
But
he's
got a good looking beard, though. Sassy Dan does. I'm trying.
I'll say this though: come tournament day, when we're working a tournament, he's up and on it. I'm the late bloomer,
Oh no, because I got sleep that morning. I called.
Yeah,
he's my safety net, Yeah, I'll lay there with anxiety and panicking, worrying about somebody launching too early. He's up, pushing it down and getting him a cup of coffee.
Yeah, gotcha.
But so we did the partner event with Native. We feel like that's important. Not compete. It's a date that it's hard to compete with them, and we feel like we bring something to that table, especially during that partner event. And then coming back to it after Reelfoot, especially in July, it's kind of a weird time. It can be good, it can be scary good. And then we finish it out on Old Hickory, and Old Hickory, it gets some hate.
I was getting ready to say, tell the truth, Dan.
It does. I mean, but we got to fish Old Hickory. I would absolutely go back to that fishery. It is, to me, it's, what I can relate to as far as fishing, it's kind of Nickajack-ish. And Robert Barnett said, stop talking about Nickajack.
Yeah, he did.
About Pickwick only. Well, he does really good on Pickwick. He does very good on Chickamauga and Nickajack as well. But Old Hickory, dude, it's kind of a sleeper lake, and it's a great location. And we can't control the size of the fish, but you anglers can absolutely control your day. And you do the best angler average with what you're fishing with, and you're going to have a good time. Especially we have a good check-in location there. We usually do it at a brewery, and they usually have a food truck there, so it works out pretty well. And it's imperative, like we have a partnership with Carl Black. They have, contributed to our Angler of the Year sponsorship, $1,000 to the person that is the best on all of our lakes for multiple years in a row. And that's a great location for them and advertising for them. And, it's hard to not have something in that area for those anglers and for that partnership that we have with them. And, the sponsorship dollars, Carl Black's been A1 solid. They've not asked for anything. And, they're absolutely ecstatic with the angler following and the people that put in for it, and people have actually bought vehicles from there. So we're gonna chip that one in for them, and it's gonna be good. And he gets great numbers. Daniel Morris said, we usually do a partner event with KBF and another club in the area. So we're all going to be there and have fun, drink a little beer at check-in, and get to enjoy.
It's good to mix it up, anyways. You know what, Dan?
Absolutely.
It's a good mix up. It is. So
it's kind of turned into the season ender. I think it's about the third or fourth year in a row.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Like Daniel said, I mean, you're showing up to fish against each other, and then KBFTN and I think Clarksville comes, and so it's all good and we have a good time.
So let's switch over to the Georgia Bass Nation. We don't talk about it much.
Steve.
Yeah.
So
I see Steve's favorite one's on there, the second one there. So
yes,
it is.
No, that is the current champion.
That's exactly right.
Georgia Bass Nation, by the way, if you're going to put some respect on his name.
Back to back, by the way.
There's some good fisheries in Georgia, isn't there, Steve?
There really is. Like it's pretty nuts. And so, looking at knowing that we're switching the Bassmaster Championship to October going forward, and the reason we're doing that, people ask, is we're the only series that doesn't have their own standalone championship. The Classic is getting shrunk down, so stage and TV time is getting shorter. So after this year, we probably wouldn't be able to get on stage anyway. But when we go to October, we're going to be able to get the elite stage. We're going to be able to get the media truck. We're going to be able to be streamed, and just put a bigger fanfare around our championship, because you do get lost in the Classic, because the Classic's the Classic. It's what it's supposed to be for the elites. And so there's no fault to anyone. So moving to October, I knew we had to get our schedule, done quicker. We did 8 tournaments in Georgia, and all of them have a really good attendance. So we didn't want to cut the series. And the anglers started mentioning, hey, you guys are kicking it in the rear on Del Hollow every year. Let's have a cold water in Georgia. And we used to have, we had the Dugout Online series on Lanier 2 years, I believe, and it fished pretty good. And Lanier is one of those fisheries that fishes great in the winter time. So those guys wanted us to have a wintertime one too, Snowball Classic, if you want to call it that. And so that's what we did with Lanier. Seminole is the best in January, February, and then later on in the year.
I'm gonna hit that one.
The championship we've had in August or in October on Seminole, and it fished really good then too. But that area down there really supports us, and so Florida Bass Nation is coming up with us too. This will be the second year in a row we partnered with them. And Matt Vaugh, and then Blake Abbey's coming on this year with Brian Nelly and Seth Taylor. They've got it lined out down there. Florida is going to make some waves. They have 54 in their first tournament. Because it's Florida, you're not, and so they started their season a couple of weeks ago. They had 54 in it. And so Seminole is great. It's my favorite fishery in the entire country, bar none.
You know how to fish it.
And I love fishing it. So I probably fished it 3 dozen times, and I've not always caught fish. But it's been phenomenal. Like the best trips I've ever had have been down there with Kuth, and watching him lose monsters because he's throwing a freaking crappie rod, and then Casey Smith and I, I'll just toot TMI here, but we both were about to just lose it all in our britches, and there's no banks on Seminole. There's not. You can't get out, so you got to improvise, and the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour, but. We just have a blast. Seminole's just great. I mean, everything's spread out. It's pretty rural. Dude, it's just something about it. And so it might suck. It might rain and sleet and whatever, but man, just cuss and be mad and go fish. And then, Eufaula, we always wore people out, because Eufaula was one of the top bass fishing lakes in the country for years. And then storms come through, messed up the grass and the ecosystem, and it took a dip. And then, it has come back. Now the fish were always there, but it just changed. And us as kayakers, we were just we were used to Eufaula, where you go throw something up against some grass and sticks and you're going to catch tons of fish. Well, it changed. Well, numbers dipped. The BOS went down there, and it was a good tournament that year, but it was harder. And so when fishing's tough, people say the lake sucks, but I mean, it just doesn't. And so I don't want to be this prophesier that like Eufaula's back, but Eufaula has turned out some really nice limits, and that's the time of year to go down there is when we're going. And then Allatoona is one where we go every year at that date. We're part of a festival that goes on there, the Etowah Outdoor Expo at the mill. And that's actually the first day of official practice for the Bassmaster Kayak Series. So, that it'll hurt us. I think in this year we qualified 5 from Georgia. Wow. They can show up and fish, on Saturday and cash a check and then just come on up to Chickamauga and start practicing. But Allatoona is like a lot of Georgia. It's a blueback herring lake, and just to share, I'm an idiot. Until last year, I thought the blueback herring was a bird, but no, it's a bait fish. So it's a bait fish.
Northern Georgia, Steve.
It is. It's not far. It's about from, let's just say, Bass Pro Shop in Chattanooga, which is on the Georgia line. It's about 45 minutes south.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
it's a good sized lake. Got a little bit of river that comes into it, but we don't do a lot of that. But that festival's pretty great. And then Hartwell is split by Georgia and South Carolina. And, now a lot of, again, these events are back to back, by design, because we've got to get a championship done by September 1st. But Hartwell, that time of year, the fish should be on bed. And Hartwell's another giant spotted bass lake. There's some good largemouth on it too, though.
Yep.
And so we'll be up there.
Last time I was there. Yep.
Yeah, we're partnered. I believe we're partnered with Queen City on that weekend as well. And then from there, we're going to go way down in Georgia to Oconee.
Yeah.
Oconee is supposed to be a really good grass lake. I think they say that there's more gnats than there are fish, but there's still a lot of fish. So what I told everybody in Georgia and Tennessee and across the country is go ahead and gripe at me every week about these championships having to be done in August. That way, when it comes August, you've already got it out of your system. But we don't have the Tennessee and Georgia lakes nailed down just yet for our August championships. But Oconee may be our Georgia championship. But the Oconee, it's a grass lake, so it's a power fishing lake, which you don't have a lot of those. So we got Seminole, Eufaula, Oconee. Those are our power fishing lakes. Now Lanier, Allatoona, Hartwell, Russell, which is our next one in May, historically has been a pretty dang good tournament. We go to Ain't It Good Cafe, which is some of the best food you're going to have. And that's going to be a recruiting event with the South Carolina Bass Nation. Same weekend, third year in a row. I'm going to miss that one because it's my anniversary weekend, unless she wants to make a trip with me. But it's Russell's really good. Russell is really, really good. And then we're going to close out the season with our Six Rivers showdown. So Georgia, Tennessee has some of the best rivers in the nation, but Georgia does too. Georgia has phenomenal river fishing, good largemouth, shoal bass that don't live anywhere else in the world are down there. And so we're gonna have a lot of water available to our anglers in this event to close out the season. And so when it starts getting hot, these other blueback herring lakes, they just disappear, like smallmouth disappear in some of these waters. And I don't know where they get when it gets hot. The same way in some of the Georgia waters, but rivers deserve their own deal. But we don't have enough anglers that do that to have it. And so we want to make sure that we have a rivers event every year. And so that's going to be our season ender. And then there you see the championship. So the Tennessee championship, we do actually have a date. It'll be the first weekend of August. Knoxville has the first right of refusal to go back there again. But looking at it and talking with just the people at the different chambers, Tim's Ford is in there because, like Daniel will tell you, we had a blast at the cast when John McClenny and their club put it on Tim's Ford. We had a good time. Tim's Ford will be good in August. I mean, August just sucks because it's hot, but I mean, fish will bite. And then in Georgia, like I said, we may look at Oconee. Don't care to go back anywhere, but we just can't go to places like Lanier or Chattooga or Hartwell in August because there's just so much boat traffic,
Right.
But what we might do is since we don't have a lot of chamber support in some of these areas, I mean, we could just throw in a lake that's just wherever, we could just do a freaking random wheel spin,
Well, and that's kind of cool in a way, really, because, at the end of the day, I mean, that could really, level the playing field when it comes to the championship. You know what I'm saying? And I mean,
you just got to tell people when they start like, oh, I'm not going to Lake X. You say, hey, man, come on.
That's it.
Don't be a sissy. Let's go fish.
That's right. Them are some awesome schedules. I guess now we'll switch over to the and I didn't realize how long we've been on here, y'all. I can't thank y'all enough for being on here this long. So
we spent 30 minutes on cheating. We can keep on.
I know it. I didn't even, but it's been so good. I just happened to look down at my clock and my watch, and I was like, oh,
that's what you get when you get us on here. That's all.
Daniel and I are never 1 hour. Never.
Hey, I'm good if you're all good. We're still holding 10 strong. So, I mean, that's good. So
we're here for the replay views.
That's it.
Daniel and I are better after the fact than we are live.
Daniel Morris said Tim's Affordable and Jack Daniels is down there. That's right.
We got some Jack Daniels experimental at that Tim's Ford Lake. Me and Steve took the old boy's bottle that worked there, and it was
my Lord.
He's one of the brewmasters there, and he brought us an unlabeled bottle, and it was
gone. We walked off with it.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb to put that in our hands, though.
Well, Steve, I guess I think Daniel helps you with it, but this schedule, if I ain't mistaken, looks a lot like it did about 2 years ago when I did the whole Bass Masters. It's real close to it a couple of years ago, except for it. Well, you go ahead. I'll let you take the floor, but it looks like it's pretty similar. So similar to the couple of years ago. So.
Yeah, well, we got to add one event last year, and that was the only reason we did that was because, out west, they need something, You can't just do your qualifier and them just drive wherever. They deserve an event.
That was the one in Arizona, right?
And so like, which we had such a good time in Arizona. And we were happy with that. We had 111 anglers during the wildfires and the whole 9 yards. But in October, it's published, but it's October. I want to say it's 14, 15, 16, whatever that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so the plan on the Bassmaster Championship then is you all will fish for 2 days, 14, 15, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then we'll cut the field in half. So let's just say we got 150 people. On Friday, 75 will fish. What we plan on doing is every day of the event, I'll turn the standings off for an hour. And then we will have a voluntary check-in on stage. And whoever shows up, we'll call you on stage, let you talk about your day, and then we'll throw your fish up on the screen and tell you you're in 17th place today until we're done. And then I'll turn the standings back on, and then we'll publicize, 1 through whatever. And so just to get everybody some shine and make something about it, and so, but to start the season, last year we were on Kissimmee. I believe it was the same time of year. We'll have a little less water this year, but Kissimmee down there showed out. It turned out that one lake turned on, and that's where I think it was, what was it, Daniel? 21 out of the 25
Crazy.
checks were cashed on one lake. So, the chamber host wants us back on the Kissimmee chain. I added a lot of water. So, but anyway, we had like almost 250, 240 people on that one. And so we're going back there again for one more year. And then we'll change in 2027. We'll start somewhere else. And then in between there and event number 2 on Lake Chickamauga and Nickajack is the 2025 championship in March. It's 11 and 12. It's a 2-day tournament, Wednesday, Thursday. You can fish Chickamauga or Nickajack, both of them. You can fish 7 times on each a day if you can make it. Out of Chattanooga, Tennessee here. And then on Friday, we'll go to Knoxville where you all be on stage. And again, it's going to be shortened, but we'll at least get the winner, top 10 up there for some pictures, but may not let everybody speak, but we'll at least get one more year on the stage. And then when that's over, we'll move up to back over to Shreveport, Louisiana. That's Caddo and Lake Bistineau. So Caddo and Bistineau are right there on the Louisiana-Texas border.
Awesome place. Awesome.
Yeah, power fishing place. Yeah, it is power fishing. I know that time of year is a little different than what everybody traditionally likes there, but that's just how that one worked out. But the fish still live there. You may just have to work a little harder to get them to eat. But that one, like you guys just said, it's just ridiculously good fishing. It's a beautiful area. We're going to have the lakes will be at full pool, so they won't be super shallow. And then when we're done with that, we'll bounce over to Clarendon, South Carolina for Santee Cooper. And I know that, again, this is another one. We would love to have had Santee in April, Caddo in May, but it just wouldn't work out because the elites are going to the Santee Cooper in April. So I actually had those dates booked, but the elites, they take precedence. Yeah. So
absolutely.
And so we're partnering with Queen City. The crew will be up there on Santee Cooper. So it'd be nice to have 300 people registered. That'd be crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But still, again, it's a different time of year. It's hot up there. But there's still monsters that live there. So you just got to go catch them. I mean, it's the same as when we had the Bass Open, the Hobie Bass Open Series in November up there. November ain't ideal, but they actually wrecked them and caught some big fish. So, I mean, they're just there, so like Travis says in there, and thank you so much for a lot of the comments. Santee's got them. It's a place because KBF went there historically a lot, and I always planned on going, and I never could make it. I planned it twice. I had a room booked, and then work got in the way, and now I just quit work so I can go fish. So, but sadly, that my only 2 options for the next tournament was Father's Day weekend or to do it right after Santee Cooper. So when Santee Cooper's done, we're going straight to Clear Lake, California. And that's pretty amazing to be able to get back out there because, Bassmasters worked hard for a lot of time. California, not being political whatsoever, but their wildlife laws and stuff are so complex. And then when you couple that into the fact that you can't get people to work anymore, they just don't have bodies to be there because, they actually inspect the boats and kayaks to make sure that you don't have bad actors attached to your vessel that's going to pollute their water. And so when they do that, they have to limit their tournaments. And so the only weekend we had that would work other than Father's Day weekend was the very next weekend after Santee Cooper. So chose to do that. So I'm going to come home on Monday, brush my teeth, kiss my wife, and I'm going to fly right out to California. And we'll have that.
Do you reckon is there any kayak places out there would work with somebody that wanted to fly out there and actually, rent a kayak or something to fish that tournament instead of trying to drive out there? You reckon?
I'm working on that. We already have about half a dozen that we've connected with anglers that live there. and they're going to loan them kayaks. But I'm working on that because we did that at Dugout Bait and Tackle when USA Bassing came to Center Hill. So the French came and they got some kayaks from us, and so yeah, we'll work on that. And yeah, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, and it's, I'm glad you mentioned that. And as a matter of fact,
because that would be awesome. I mean, I would love to go out there and fish some of them lakes in California, but logistically, you're not driving out there. You know what I'm saying? When you live on the East Coast, you know what I mean? You're going to have to fly out there and rent a kayak from somebody or borrow something from somebody, to do it. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yep. And so when we're done with that, what was it? Somebody said you don't want me to fish this year because you got 2 rivers. You're going to California, and the other 3 are alligator infested waters. So
that's right. Yeah.
And so you all get to power fish your way, all the way to the 1st of August on the Susquehanna, up there where it seems like something always pops off and happens. But what we're going to do up there is all of us and the anglers are going to work together, and we're going to make sure that everybody's on the up and up, and everybody looks out for each other. And we're going to be in Bloomsburg, which is a little north, so we're going to have more water to cover back on Susquehanna. And I think that was Daniel's tongue was hanging out after that tournament last year.
I've been there 2 years in a row. That Susquehanna is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So.
I'm at the fish. So I don't have to help judge it. It's insane.
Yeah. So including skunks, 200 anglers average 16 fish each.
It was crazy.
Including the skunks. That's what the average was. It was just, yeah. I think that made Bethany quit. Yeah. Oh yeah. So
that Susquehanna is different though. If you've never been there, I struggled the first year I was there. I did the best I ever did this last year with the TKS, but I'm on, but it don't fish to me. It don't fish like the Tennessee rivers. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. It's a little bit different. But it's awesome fishery though. It's awesome. So
yeah, and that goes like because when practice comes around, you don't want people, you don't want 200 people on a lake or a river, wrecking them all week long. But, we're from Tennessee. So when we get there, we got to figure out how to catch these fish. We don't live there.
Yes.
So, I mean, we're throwing everything we got trying to figure out, well, we accidentally catch 20 fish today. Well, we still don't know how to catch them. We're just junk fishing,
That's
and
it.
So, you don't want that, but it is what it is. But there's so far, each event we've had has just it's shown out. The fish showed up and the anglers did their jobs, and then when we get done, we're going to Wisconsin to Wolf and Fox Rivers. We'll have the Hobie Bass Open Series is the only series that's went there, and I met these people at a conference in Missouri. Matt Tenhaken is a phenomenal person. He's one of the better, chamber people in the country. He knows AJ very well. We were just catching up about AJ, and we started talking, and it was like, I had been looking to go maybe back to lacrosse, but I was trying to figure out how to open up different waters. But the lacrosse host, they naturally want you on their waters, and so I was trying to get to those other pools. And then just started looking, and the Drew had a tournament in Minnesota in St. Cloud there, and they reached out, and I was really, really looking at that, but I was like, man, that's still, I want to be a little more condensed because my plan was to try to get to the Missouri area. But time ran out, and then Wisconsin made sense for us because we hadn't been to the true area up there since lacrosse a couple of years ago. So I was like, what? Let's give them where we're at. It's still travel for everybody. So Missouri, Oklahoma area kind of got screwed a little bit this year, but they had 2 events in back-to-back years. So. I would like to add another event, but if you look at it on top of tournament expense for running another event, you're going to dilute your angler pool, and it just doesn't make sense to add one more. So, six events is about the way to go. I would love to have 6 plus a West Coast, but I mean, man, this year we've got 6 and 2 championships, so I just could not even think about adding another event. So, but my plan for the October championship is I've got a contract proposal waiting on approval for hopefully working on Table Rock in Missouri. So
Okay.
So that's 27 weeks for y'all to figure out stuff to do stuff. Yeah, 3 tournament series, 3 championships, 10 events in Tennessee, 8 in Georgia, 6 in Bassmaster.
Y'all are amazing.
Half a year old son.
Yeah. I take my hat off to y'all. I did a little bit of the director of a series for just a little while, and I take my hat off to you. I'm glad I'm not doing it no more. So it's like I take my hat off to y'all. So you do a great job.
Hey, 28 if you include GSM. So.
Well, the schedules look awesome, and Steve, you can't make everybody happy, and you know that by now. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take what you can get, you know what I mean, and make it happen and mess with it. But I think everybody knows out there that you do your best to try to spread it out all you can spread it out. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah. And I really don't mind people being upset because that means they care, it just does.
Yeah.
It means they want it, and I'm okay with that, Yeah, and they know. I mean, hey, we'll make it up the best we can when we can. And like Daniel said, we've still got Sunday, March the 1st on Gunnersville, the GSM tournament. So that's going to it'll be back to the Bill Lewis rattle trap only tournament. So that tournament on Gunnersville, historically, when we were first asked to be a part of it, the boat tournaments were averaging 300 boats that tournament, And then we had ours, and Sam Cox won the first one, and Daniel Perry won the second one, I think. And then this last one, I can't remember who won the last one, but
that was
when they switched.
What's his name?
Willis?
No, Kramus.
So, but when they switched to GSM Battle of the Brands, it was nice because you had more options, but it just took the mystique of a rattle trap tournament away. And so GSM's going back to that. And so Joe Drowns was a big help down there last year because me and Daniel, we had Kentucky Lake, and we had to turn right around and drive straight to Gunnersville for Sunday. And Joe handled registration for us. So Joe runs the Gunnersville Kayak Anglers, and they fish Gunnersville. Wilson Wheeler, he's a good dude. He's actually running for your last shot in the whole country probably. The Alabama Bass Nation qualifier event will be December 13 on Lake Gunnersville. So if you're a Bass Nation member,
Steve Staples.
Who?
Steve Staples.
Steve Staples. Oh yeah. Oh, Steve. Yeah.
Wore them out. He had 100. It's like 120 inches or something.
Dude,
it was insane.
He can wreck Gunnersville now. So yeah. But yeah. So anyway, December 13th, the Alabama Bass Nation qualifier. Next year, they're working on having a small trail series in conjunction with those grassroots ones down there. And so just to provide some more opportunities to where, you can maximize a calendar,
Yeah. Well, it looks like Travis has probably got the best question for the end for you two tonight. He says, what's your favorite part of being a TD? Tournament director.
Steve-O says to me this all the time. He says, you know what I like about you? But honestly, it was
nothing. No. That's what I asked him. I said, you know what I like about you? Nothing.
No, honestly, like for me, it's seeing the same anglers show up and give the care, and the appreciation is a big part of it. But just this is a thankless ass job. It's the best way I could put it, and we get a lot of things from it, and just seeing all those people show up weekend after weekend after weekend, it makes me want to put more into it and continue it on. Like, it ain't making any of us a damn millionaire, but it's something to do. It's something that we want to fish. I would want somebody to run what we run, and us just sit back and be able to fish. To me, just mirroring that effect is just 100% of it. And it's great to devote the weekends, the 30 something events, 30 weekends that we give up to travel and do these type of things, and for what the English put into it. So the loyalty's there, and it's a pride thing in a lot of ways, but just that constant return, it makes me want to come out and do it again and again.
Yeah, for me, obviously, between Bassmaster and Dugout, it affords me to make a living doing it. And as long as I don't have to come out of my pocket for whatever, we can still do Georgia and Tennessee on the level that we do it. You can run a tournament series easily, but to have the prizes awards that we all do, and because we purchase prizes. Like I just today, so we welcome Z-Man back. So I'm going to do an order later in the year when we get our money in. So we'll have some Z-Man product. And then but Sniper Marine came back this year again too as our big bass sponsor. So but so all of that helps me make a living in the industry. But then Georgia and Tennessee Bass Nation, like with TVKA, that like Daniel, Jesse Clark, and Joe Kerr, Casey Smith, and Starnes, and all them, and Chris Walters, they've taken that over as a committee now, and are growing it, back to the grassroots again, and to help amplify that stuff in this area. I do Tennessee and Georgia stuff because I just enjoy being around y'all. I do. I enjoy the fact that, it's like Daniel will tell you, my wife, she has to tell me all the time to quit because, hell, I'll have 700 people here for Thanksgiving if I don't watch it, and so that's the way I treat tournaments is I want everybody to show up, and when we get to go to awards, just that's cool, to get up there and pump y'all up and let y'all be proud and happy of them little old fish y'all caught that day, It does. It feeds me. It does. It feeds me. I got a servant's heart.
Yes.
But seeing y'all happy, I don't want to minimize life by saying fishing does it, but it just kind of fulfills my purpose,
Yeah, y'all do a great job at that. I was petrified when I first come up there to the Tennessee Bass Nation, and and then y'all just there's so many hammers up there, you know what I mean? And I knew I couldn't catch fish,
and everybody's the same as everybody. It don't matter. Russ,
it did. Y'all just started talking to me. Hey, Steve, how you doing? You know what I mean? It was like
nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. Glad to have you. You know what I mean? It's like
the nations are such a perfect entry point. It's slightly elevated above grassroots, but it's not the Bassmaster. It's like it's not the 200 something buy-in to do it, and we want people to feed into that Bassmaster. We want them to get there. We want people to live that dream of walking across that championship stage, and seeing people that qualified in Tennessee, and then me and Steve-O run the Bassmaster and they get to hold a trophy up. That to us is, it's worth its weight, man. It is so fantastic to see that, and to know that we helped, in some way provide that platform to get them there. But it's fantastic. It's a reward in itself, and like I said, it's a thankless job, but it's just we get rewarded in other ways, and trying to serve the anglers where we can. It's awesome.
Yeah, everybody appreciates y'all though. You guys have done a great job, and I hate it for Chris. Y'all know Chris is selling all his stuff because of his health, and Chris Phelan was how I got into the Tennessee Bass Nation. He was my first guest 3 years ago on the podcast, and I hate to see him getting out. At some point in time, things happen and you have to. But
I watched him sabotage a guy too once.
Yeah. Well, he did see you seen his comment earlier, didn't you, Dan? He said, "I'll do everybody's identifiers." Oh, Lord.
He's a good one. He don't need to sell nothing. He needs to.
Hey,
we need a
to make
non-cut
t-shirt.
Pelican. I was going to bring this up, like the picture that you brought for me. My kayak's cut in half.
Yeah,
I have a full kayak. I swear. So just let me know.
That's that, man. That's that BG remover. It takes all. I told Chris Phelan, I said we need to make shirts up that say "Friends don't let friends make identifiers."
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's a good dude for sure.
Hey, I threw in a graphic there on the bottom for you.
Okay. Yep. I wanted to pull that up.
I'll have those available pretty soon.
I love that. That's fantastic. Yep.
Yeah. My wife got on to me for that. She said, "You're better than that." I said, "Baby, we're just going to have fun with this."
No,
I was like, I really are. Thank you. I've got you fooled. I'm not better than that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's good though. That's good awareness. It really is. I mean,
it is.
It ought to make people think that, they're going to get caught sooner or later. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. You know what I mean? Cheaters never win. That's just, Travis there giving you guys attaboy. Thank you for both of your
Thank
time.
you, Travis.
Yeah.
Y'all send one up for Daniel Morris. He's got some back issues going on. He's having some cut on stuff, I believe. So,
oh boy, I've been there.
I volunteered to give him a back massage. He keeps turning me down.
Well, I've been there, Daniel. I've had 2 major back surgeries in 2 years: whole full cervical and neck replacement, and then L3 to S1. So you can come back from it, but it's a journey. Let me tell you, it's a journey.
I heard he's getting like a butthole realignment surgery too.
Oh my Lord! Oh,
it's going from his mouth to lower. It's unreal.
It's something like your sweatpants. They put a drawstring in it.
I got you. Alan says, "I have great respect for y'all being TDs. I did it 1 year and almost broke me." Yeah, it can.
Hey, that's why it took me so long to quit my job, because I had to figure out how to do it without coming out of my own pocket. Because, like
Alan, we're a little dumb.
I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. I really do. We had a good time. Thank you for bringing us on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you all. I appreciate you taking the time out and coming on here and spending as much time as you did. And I think y'all broke the record. I think 1 hour and 50 minutes is the record. So y'all broke.
Better schedule it right the next time, old son. We go long. We do it.
Yeah. I look forward to being back with y'all this year. I'm gonna come back and do some of the. I'm gonna try to hit some of both, a little bit of the Georgia Bass Nation and the Tennessee Bass Nation. So I'm looking forward to getting back. So, but
heck yeah.
Thank you all for all that you do. And, y'all been good to me all these years, and I appreciate that. And it's count you all friends. So thank you so much. So,
count you as friends as well. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man. We're glad you set the bar low. You don't need much to be happy.
Hey, that's the best way, right? And then you ain't disappointed. So.
That's it. Thank y'all. I appreciate you. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate it.
You too. See y'all.
See.
Well, thank y'all. I can't thank y'all enough. Great show tonight. Longer than we've ever went. And, you guys stayed on, about 10 of you the whole time. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the sponsors, 47 Lures, Deep South Lures, A2 Custom Baits. Thank you, Travis. You added so much too from SC Yak tonight, and Trash Can Rods. I want to thank you all. And I didn't have no giveaway tonight, Alan. I'm out of everything. So I don't have nothing right now. So I'm waiting for people to give me some stuff. And so if y'all want to give me some stuff to give away next week, just let me know. Just DM me or text me or whatever. But I am very sorry, y'all. I didn't have nothing tonight to give away. But we are going to get me and the wife's working on the I know. Thank you, Fallon. I'm glad you're still away. We do got some stuff ordered for the we're going to give the Thanksgiving basket away here in a couple weeks. Got some hats coming, and I'm hoping everything gets here in time. So I've reached out to all my sponsors, so I'm going to do my best to get you all that Thanksgiving basket here in a couple weeks. And Travis had on being too much at times in the comments. Nah, Travis, you's great, man. That's what makes the show good. Daniel, it's good to have you on here. I apologize I didn't have a giveaway tonight. You guys have been great. I can't thank you all enough. It humbles me for y'all coming on here. Just keep on helping me to try to get a good show out here to everybody. And he said, pick a winner, huh? So, like I said, thank you, Simply Fishing. Glad you come on tonight. I seen you had some comments on here. I can't thank you all enough for being on here. We had as many as almost 30 live tonight and some great interaction. Steve and Daniel was amazing. And thank you, Chris. I appreciate you, buddy. Anyways, like I always say, you can't harvest them in the house. You got to get up, get outdoors, and have a great time. Worship Creator more than the Creator. Thank you all so much. Can't wait to see y'all next week. Have a good week. Thank you.
Hooked on the river.